I'm just gonna like talk. I'll edit it
Yeah.
later. I got Chucky disease.
You got Chucky disease, bro.
In like a couple of my meds.
Yeah. It's
And
okay.
and the alcohol I drink my meds with.
Wow. That's really good for you.
It's really good for you. And one, two, three.
Maybe you should talk about your fucking drug abuse.
4 bottles of cough syrup.
I think he should talk about his drug
Get
abuse.
the fuck out of my... 4 bottles of cough syrup in 2 days.
You have schizophrenia.
You have schizophrenia. You have schizophrenia.
Hey.
You have schizophrenia.
And you, viewers like you.
Did you try to eat my hair? Schizophrenia.
You have schizophrenia.
You have schizophrenia.
You
This
have-
video isn't real. Your phone?
I need to start this.
None of it's
I need
real.
to actually start it now. Hi, my name is Rodan. I also go by Trey. I also go by Ruler Purple. This is my channel. I make videos like drawings, ARGs, vlogs, live stream video games, video essays, AMVs. That's it. Big stinky toes.
Yeah.
I'm here with my husband,
Oh.
Jeff.
No.
We're not really officially married yet. We're fiancés.
What?
Because the government will not let disabled people get
Disabled.
married. Disabled people get married.
Yeah.
I'm also here with my roommate Seth. He just moved in recently
No,
at
you're
the
not.
He's not real. Oh god.
he just moved in recently. This is a freeform video because I've made videos with scripts before and they sucked ass because I have a severe stuttering problem that pops up more when I'm trying to read because my brain goes faster than I can get the words out. I read the words faster than I can get the words out, and it sucks. There, I have a cat here too.
You're hallucinating it if you see.
I don't regret the
Oh.
scripted videos I've done. One of the first ones was talking about OSDD and being black and things like that, and it was really fun to make because a lot of my friends were like, "Hey, your stories sound like mine," and I am very open about everything wrong with me because people who sound like me make me feel better. And I feel better when I hear stories that sound like mine. So my name is Trey. I also go by Rodan. I have schizophrenia. I have BPD. I have chronic depression. I have fat nuts, a big stinky toe.
To whom it may concern, my nuts hang.
I'm an alcoholic. I'm a severe drug addict. And I'm just living life. My problems
Ew.
have been... My main problems...
My main goal.
My main goal have been like present in my life ever since I was a kid. Fun story. I grew up very strictly Christian. My parents are great people. The church we grew up in was like kind of a cult in disguise. I mean, it was like a Christian church when we believed in God and Jesus, but it was like separated from other churches, and we like the classic doctrines of like everyone is different, be scared, or indoctrinate them and get them to heaven, because if you don't, they'll go to hell and it'll be your fault type of shit. I was told by my parents were told by a visiting priest one time that I would grow up to see and talk to angels and demons. And later on, as an adult, I got diagnosed with schizophrenia, schizoaffective disorder, and was confirmed that I do have hallucinations and I hear voices and all that fun stuff. So I guess he was technically correct. I do see and hear angels and demons.
Well, you also hear Minecraft villagers.
I hear Minecraft villagers, and I hallucinate deer on the road when I'm driving to work at 2 a.m., which is great, especially when you hit 2 deer in the span of 1 month. My schizophrenia, especially, I think is something that is in my family, both on my dad's side and my mom's side. My mom has BPD, and psychosis. My father has either DID or OSDD, psychosis, and NPD. And I think I also have NPD as well. That's a lot of things, but most of it is just like the same thing with like different words or different titles. It's like it's one thing, really. It's like a bunch of symptoms, and a lot of it is basically little bitch disorder or your childhood sucked disorder, and you are sucking the life out of everyone around you disorder. Until you're medicated disorder, and then you're sad disordered. It's great. What is great is like finding that out for yourself, and like even if your diagnoses are not like official, like using the resources that you can acquire from that diagnosis. This is all like a big thing to say. I have a lot of issues. I've had a lot of issues ever since I was little, and because of my childhood trauma, I have severe memory issues. So big chunks of my life are empty holes. Even things from like 5 years ago. Huh?
Holes that you fuck.
Huh?
Holes that you fuck.
Huh?
Holes that you fuck.
Huh?
Holes that you fuck. Hi, I'm the ring from the ring.
I'm editing a lot of this out. I shut the fuck up.
Literally such a hater.
Where 5 years ago now, something happened that was very not that big of a deal, but it piled onto a mess of problems, and it caused one of my first main psychotic breaks. I was for a couple of months living, basically doing passive suicide. What I would do is I would spend I stopped working for a good couple months. I spent the remainder of my money on sleeping pills, and I would take a bunch of these sleeping pills, go to bed, wake up, drink water, or use the bathroom, take the pills, go back to bed. It was just literally waking up, taking the pills, and going back to sleep for weeks. And I also, this was around the time that two of my other fronters became more prominent in my life, other than my childhood. The two being Bishop, my co-host, who is like around here and fronting as much as I am, and Azrael, a semi co-host. Azrael tried to attempt murder when he was taking over, so he wasn't allowed to front after that for a very long time. That was really fun. Half of me wanted to just end up in jail because of attempted murder. The other half, being Azrael, just wanted to fuck around and find out, you know? That was like a huge low point in my life, but it also started my life, like, it restarted it, basically. My life completely changed after that. I met a whole new group of friends after pure desperation of just basically begging them to let me into their friend group because I was extremely lonely. And they were great people, and I'm still friends with most of them today, as well as like a bunch of other friends.
Frank Sinatra.
Leave this fucking guy, man. I didn't exactly seek that help. I knew I needed that help. I didn't exactly seek that help until I moved out of my parents' house into my grandmother's house. There, I was not only able to start testosterone, like I said in a very old video, I was able to get on medication and get my diagnosis, which changed my life. Living at Nanny's house, I also developed my alcohol addiction. I had a rough patch with some friends, and because of a lot of my like BPD ness, I couldn't handle that sober, and I started drinking hard alcohol. I was, ever since I was 21, I drank socially and like for fun, wine and stuff like that, but I started drinking hard liquor when I lived with my nanny and my grandmother, and most of my paycheck went into that, basically. I was working at PetSmart at this time, which was really funny because I love the coworkers. I love my managers even. I love the customers. PetSmart fucking sucks. They do not treat their animals great, and I was head of animal care, which means I fed things and once a week clean their cages and pump them with pain meds when they were sick, because all we did when animals were sick was give them pain meds and antibacterials, because that could solve everything, you know. I saw a lot of dead hamsters. That was fun. I'm not exactly a little bitch when it comes to dead animals, but when you know that an animal could be perfectly healthy and the environment you're working at does not allow for the kind of resources that this animal needs, and the animal ends up dying of stress or depression, which a hamster can die of depression, or anything like that,
Man. I could die of
it
depression.
sucks. Feeding the snakes was cool. Everything else was sucks. I had my second psychotic breakdown working in the middle of my shift at PetSmart. I called my dad and I basically told him I'm going to go MIA, because if I don't check myself in a hospital, I'm going to either hurt myself or hurt the next person who attempts to talk to me. I immediately left work. I got to my grandmother and told her, you need to drive me to the hospital so I can check myself in the mental ward or whatever. This is when I got like my meds officially and my official diagnosis and a doctor to talk to once a month about the fact that I have these, you know, hurtful urges and I have these severe highs and lows and I hear things and see things and I'm insane. I'm crazy.
I'm gonna fucking kill you.
Shut up, faggot.
I can't believe Seth just called me a schizo.
Seth just called me a queer.
Oh my god.
I talked a lot about this in other videos, but I wrote scripts and the scripts were so cheesy and plain and I loved making those videos, but like it was just like me just like I want to get this out and then not getting it out because I was following the script. Like I saw this video of like this bear in the water and like he farts and like a huge line of like tapeworms comes out of his body, like 4 times the size of his body.
Are you keeping this in the video?
I'm keeping this in the video.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
I think that you need to sound a certain way to be on YouTube and make videos and stuff like that, but you really don't, because like no one gives a shit. This is like a video diary basically. Anyway, living at nannies, getting away from my parents, good people, really not, couldn't live with them, couldn't be trans and schizophrenic and live with them for much longer. Living with nanny was great, couldn't live there, was stagnant, was just going through the motions.
What was
fermenting. So I have this fiance, boyfriend at the time, and I decided, like, we were always talking, like, we're going to move in together. You know, when you have a partner, you're going to move in with them. That's going to be next year or the year after that or sometime. And one year I was like, I can't do this anymore. I am moving out this year. If I don't, I die. So I gave myself a time limit, and basically no matter what was ready, I was going to get in my car and drive and leave and move in with my boyfriend. That time limit came. I ended up crowdfunding the money necessary to actually get out. I packed up my tiny 2006 Hyundai Sonata with whatever could fit, nothing else. Like, I owned nothing really. I was living in a 1-bedroom apartment with 2 other people. I packed up that car and I started driving from Daytona all the way, taking only back roads because I'm terrified of highways, to upstate New York, where I am currently right now. So obviously that worked out. The road trip to New York was the most fun I had ever had in my entire life. I grew up watching Supernatural. That shit is like my dream. Like living in a car and eating fast food and staying at really dirty motels and moving on to the next city is like my ideal life. Honk honk.
You just honked my breath. I want that on the record.
The trip only lasted like a full day. Like it was like one big day. I stayed the night, middle of the trip, at a tiny little hotel, and then one full day. So like 2 days I was on the road, driving with like a tiny playlist that I created because I had no data, because I was on back roads, stopping at random towns or graveyards to like rest and get gas and just see what was around. I saw my first ever mountain, like real actual mountain driving up here, and I cried. And then 5 minutes later, my tire exploded on the road. Am I have an anxiety disorder, and I have schizophrenia, and I have panic disorder, and I every little thing will set me off into a spiral of I need to kill myself or kill someone, basically. And when my tire exploded in the middle of the road, where I was both too far away from my destination and far away from my original point where I started. I was like smack dab in the middle, basically. I had no family anywhere near me, no one anyone near me. And I was just sitting on the side of the road waiting for AAA, and I was like, huh, I actually don't feel bad about this at all. This is not ruining my life, and I'm very content and happy still. The trip was just I set a goal and I did it. Like I was doing it. I said I was going to move out, and I got in my car and I was moving out. And a tiny tire exploding and me wasting 4 hours getting a new tire, which was paid for thankfully for the crowd because of the crowdfunding. That was nothing. That was like worst case scenario that had happened, and it was nothing to me. This shit ain't nothing to me, man. Sat at like this really dingy car repair shop that was like not even in a town, uh ran by two guys who like it was like plastic chairs outside. There wasn't even seating in the building, and I watched them repair my tire like in real time, and I was just like, this is great, actually. I texted family to let them know I was alive, and I was just sitting there, and I just realized that like I was doing the right thing because like I was so at peace despite the hiccup that I couldn't think of anything negative at the time. Even I got back on the road almost immediately after the tire was fixed, and I made it to upstate New York. I made it to a house that I was going to pay rent with a man that I was in love with. I was I was sheltered. Ironically, I've been homeless and I've been sheltered. But I've been neglected severely and over sheltered by two different parents. So I've lived a street life, but living with my dad and my stepmom, I was scared of the real world. I was like severely Christian. The others are different. They're scary. I have to rely on only my family and God. And I never actually thought I was going to live to see myself move to a different state that I've never been to with a man that I had met online at
That's
this
so
house.
That's so scary. Don't do that at home, kids.
Don't do that at home.
Because what if it's me,
What if
Jeff
it's the killer?
What if it's me, Jeff the killer?
I'm married to Jeff the killer, not clickbait. Uh, the first week I was here, it didn't feel real. It's still, honestly, it's been here for 2 years. It doesn't feel real. Sometimes I'll wake up and I'll see the sun on like the fake ass wooden wall that's in front of me, and I'll be like, this isn't real, because like I'm still in Alabama in my parents' house, or I'm still in that one bedroom apartment working minimum wage just to get alcohol and drugs and then go back home and do nothing. But here I have like a life. Like I am alive and I have something tangible to rely on and to look forward to. I got my job, not my job, I got my career within like the first 2 weeks of living here. I didn't even apply to this place. They called me. They saw my profile on Indeed, and they're like, hey, we need I've worked retail, I've worked food service, I've done it all. I am, besides being mentally ill, I am severely physically disabled as well. I have chronic back pain. I was diagnosed with scoliosis when I was a kid. Everything hurts so bad all the time that like gross. Sometimes I can't even like wash any part of me for like days and days because like it hurts to try. This job I got was a package handler job where I'm lifting 100-pound packages a bunch of hours a day, almost every day of the week at 2 a.m. in the morning. I hate retail. I worked in an office, I worked retail, I worked food. I've always loved my coworkers, I've always loved my bosses. I hate that kind of work. I'm good at it. I'm great at customer service. I was offered amazing customer service jobs with like insurance and dental and like 401ks and shit like that, where I'm just sitting at a computer answering questions and shit. I was offered that. I would kill myself after like a year. I would. This job was physical labor in the middle of the night in a city 45 minutes away, making just enough to pay rent and gas to even get there. And this, I like to complain about it. My managers like to hear me complain about it. It is my dream job. I'm currently a trainer at this job, so I'm like focused on safety and regulation and like training others that were like me to do what I was doing and I'm currently doing. But now I have like to worried about people, killing themselves because it's a very dangerous job. People have lost limbs and shit like that. And I'm an artist. And I like drawing. I like live streaming video games. But this is like my career now. I've decided that even if I don't stay at this particular company I'm at, this training position, this like safety shit is like a passion I didn't even realize I had, and I would have never realized at any of the other places I lived. If I wouldn't have moved here, I wouldn't have found my career, that a job that I can see myself retiring from. I have a 401k now. Like it was weird. I have money being saved up for my future, which I didn't think I was going to have. I wasn't planning on living past 19, and I'm turning 26 in a couple of weeks or like a month. So that shit's insane. And like so much bad is the cause of all this good. That first psychotic break 5 years ago, if that wouldn't have happened, I would still be living with my parents, wonderful people, working my shitty, monotonous but easy job. I don't think I would have moved in with my boyfriend, now my fiance. I don't think we would have proposed to each other. We did a bunch of times over and over again. We wouldn't have plans on getting married, moving out of this place already, and like having futures in other states and stuff like that. If it wasn't for that second psychotic break, I would have never gotten diagnosed. I would have
Told you so.
Bitch. I never would have gotten on medication. I never would have met the doctors who I met that could help me. I never would have moved to New York. I would have stayed in Florida where I would be right now, or, by myself now because my grandmother moved out of Florida. Been stuck there basically by myself because I had a time limit of moving or I'd be by myself. So much bad shit is like the cause of me even being alive, which is so crazy to think about. Like things that I thought were going to end my life for good is the reason I still have a life, and I didn't end my life for like other reasons. Tiny little bad things happening. My car breaking down every other month getting here. My car, through God, survived the trip and has been coughing a lot ever since, breaking tiny little pieces of herself where I have to get them refixed. This fucking car is the $1,000,000 man. Like nothing in this car is original. I have built a full new car. So much of my money has gone to this fucking car, and it's still worth it. I've hit 2 deer in like a month. I've said that already. It's still worth it. Every bad thing is still worth everything is worth this life. This life is worth it because like
Aww.
I'm able to grow and be more than what I had assumed I was going to be. My childhood dog died, and I wasn't there to see her because she was all the way with my parents. And sometimes I would think, should I have stayed there until she was at least gone and then moved? But I wouldn't have had the opportunity to do that. Fucking the murder attempt itself, if that wouldn't have happened, murder attempt. I didn't even like see the guy, so like whatever. I wouldn't be here. And now I have my best friend living with me too, along with my fiance. His name is Seth. He stinks.
And you have this really ugly thing that we keep in our house.
This is my son, Sven.
No, this is our trash.
He has 7 fingers on each paw.
And he's got
a broken tail that never grew in.
And he's stupid.
this ugly face.
Ugh. He just accepted.
And he's got a big stinky toe.
No. He's got a lot of stupid in his heart. He's got no brain.
This shit is insane. You know, being a system with people in my head, having delusions of grandeur, being so just broken down, every problem on earth, and I'm still happy and thriving despite the horrors, the alcohol addiction, the drug addiction. Everything is still worth going through for this one life that I get, that I'm never going to get a second chance at, that I'm just stumbling through and having so much fun despite it all.
I'm like Jesus.
There isn't any point to this video. It's kind of like a sequel to like my other essays to basically say where I am now. I'm here. I'm having fun on this channel. I've been doing random shit that I don't care. Like, I don't care to like keep anything consistent. I've been creating shit that I have fun doing, and I want to do it more often. I want to live stream more often. I want to do essay vlogs more often with my friend and my husband. I want to explore the world, and because I don't have any memory, really, I don't remember most of my life. I would like this channel to be a sort of like, what are those things called? You bury them. Time capsule. This to be like something I can like look back up like years later and be like, I can document my growth and progression, and it's awesome, and I'm happy. So, just get my finger in there. Yeah, I'm Rodan or Trey. This is Ruler of Purple, the channel.
And this is my crib.
And this is my big stinky toe.